Namaste everyone. Behind me is the actual Sangam. Now, evidence of that are the lakhs of people gathered there this very moment for their ritual dip into the waters. This is one of the things that stands out about the Kumbh. The crores and crores of devotees who come here armed only with their simple devotion and powerful spirituality. But another tradition that stands out about the Kumbh is that of the akhadas, and that's what this episode is dedicated to, the tradition of the sadhus, saints and akhadas. India has been a land of sadhus and saints for millennia. In fact, you could argue that most Indians respect the sadhus and saints even more than kings and emperors. There are those who say that if Prince Siddhartha had remained just a royal and had even become a king, maybe he would have been forgotten. But since he became a mendicant and became Gautam Buddha himself, he is remembered and worshipped to this day by practically all Indians. In fact, not just Indians, but people across the world. The same thing can be said about Kabir. He is not just a poet, he is remembered as a saint. This is a very powerful tradition. You see that in the Kumbh Mela as well, the hold and the influence of the akhadas. A very powerful tradition.
When did the tradition of sadhus and akhadas start in Kumbh? We all know that sadhus shun society and like to live in solitude. We know about sages living in ashrams. We also know about monks leaving everything behind for the mountains. But when and how were these akhadas and sects formed?
To answer this question, you need to look at two towering figures of Hinduism. The first is, of course, Adi Shankaracharya ji, the great son of Kerala, in fact, the great son of India, who established akhadas across the entire Indian subcontinent to protect and revive the traditions of Hinduism. The second figure is Goswami Tulsidas ji, who wrote the Ramcharitmanas. Amritlal Nagar, who had written the biography of Tulsidas ji called Manas Ka Hans, he wrote of when Goswami Tulsidas ji was writing the Ramcharitmanas in Kashi, he established akhadas there, and many sadhus and saints made those akhadas their home.
The akhadas in the Kumbh have their own relevance and history. The akhadas have been formed in the last few centuries, and they bring their own splendor and brightness to this Kumbh fair. Now let's look at the tradition of akhadas here.
हमारे आदि गुरु शंकराचार्य ने यह सोचा कि हम क्या ऐसे साधुओं को तैयार कर सकते हैं जो सनातन धर्म की रक्षा करें, यानी ऐसे साधुओं को तैयार किया जाए जो शस्त्र में भी माहिर हो और शास्त्र में भी माहिर हो। तो शस्त्र और शास्त्र, खुद आदि गुरु शंकराचार्य ने कहा कि हमारे हाथ में वेद है और पीछे बाणों से सुसज्जित धनुष लगा हुआ है। मेरे साथ जो जैसा बर्ताव करे हम उसके लिए वैसा प्रस्तुत होना चाहते हैं, और उन्होंने अखाड़ों की स्थापना इन्हीं उद्देश्यों से कर दी। बार बार कर जोड़ कर सविनय करूं पुकार, साधु संग मोहि दीजिए परम गुरु दातार। हमें साधुओं का संगत चाहिए होती है, और कुंभ मेले में कहा जाता है कि इसके सबसे प्रमुख स्टेक होल्डर्स जो होते हैं वो कल्पवासी और साधु ही होते हैं।
Elephants, horses and chariots, flags and various kinds of musical instruments too, and a dazzling, splendid group of sadhus. This is the Peshwai procession. Peshwais, the grand procession of sadhus from different akhadas as they arrive into the city of Kumbh. The splendor of Kumbh begins with these processions. These Peshwais are very special for the akhadas. They are a display of both their devotion and their power. They are also a display of the grandeur and pomp of the akhadas. Sadhus and saints enter the city seated on elephants, horses and chariots, just like emperors and kings. They have their own army and their own flag. Huge crowds throng the roads to welcome them and to witness the spectacle. It is said that this tradition of akhadas at the Kumbh dates back to the time of the Mughals. In fact, before the British took over, it was the akhadas who would look after the organization and the arrangements at Kumbh.
जब आदि गुरु शंकराचार्य ने स्थापना की थी ना, तो वो दशनामी अखाड़े थे। दशनामी गिरि, पुरी, सागर, अरण्य, वन, जो ये नाम हैं, ऐसे 10 नाम है। 10 नामी साधुओं की स्थापना की, ये शैव अखाड़े की स्थापना थी। धीरे धीरे साधुओं की संख्या बढ़ती चली गई, विचारों की भी विविधता बढ़ती चली गई, तो अखाड़ों की संख्या भी बढ़ती चली गई।
The history of akhadas is ancient. They were established at different times. In the beginning, there were 4 akhadas, and that number has now increased to 13 over time. Of these, 7 akhadas belong to the Shaivite and Sannyasi sect. These are Juna Akhada, Ahvan Akhada, Agni Akhada, Niranjani Akhada, Anand Akhada, Nirvani Akhada and Atal Akhada. 3 of them are of the Vaishnav sect. Nirmohi Akhada, Digambar Akhada and Nirvani Ani Akhada. There are 3 akhadas that worship Guru Nanak Dev. These are Bada Udasin Akhada, Naya Udasin Akhada and Nirmal Akhada. The largest among the akhadas is Sri Panchadashanam Juna Akhada, whose headquarters are in Varanasi. This akhada or sect is a Shaiva akhada and it was established by Adi Shankaracharya. This akhada is connected to the 4 matts or monastic seats established by Adi Shankaracharya, Dwarka, Puri, Sringeri and Jyotirmath. Their deity is Lord Dattatreya. The second akhada is Sri Panchayati Akhada Niranjani, headquartered in Daraganj, Prayagraj. This is also a Shaivite akhada. It is believed that this akhada, the second largest of all, was established in 904 AD in Mandvi, Gujarat. The third akhada is Sri Shambhu Panchayati Atal Akhada with its headquarters in Varanasi. This is also a Shaivite sect. The fourth akhada is Sri Panchayati Akhada Mahanirvani. Its headquarters are in Prayagraj. This is also a Shaivite akhada. The fifth akhada is Sri Panchayati Akhada Bada Udasin. This is also headquartered in Prayagraj. It was founded by Baba Sri Chand Ji, the elder son of Guru Nanak Dev, the first of the Sikh Gurus. The sixth akhada is Sri Panchayati Akhada Naya Udasin, whose headquarters are in Haridwar. This is part of the Udasin sect and it was formed after separating from the Bada Udasin Akhada. This akhada is a follower of Sri Chandra Bhagwan. The seventh akhada is Sri Panch Nirmohi Ani Akhada. It has its headquarters in Haridwar. Its followers are Vaishnavites and the Nirmohi Akhada worships Lord Hanuman. The eighth akhada is Sri Panch Digambar Ani Akhada. This akhada is also headquartered in Haridwar and is also a Vaishnav sect. The ninth akhada is Sri Panch Nirvani Ani Akhada. Its headquarters are also in Haridwar and it is also a Vaishnav akhada. The 10th akhada is Sri Panchayati Akhada Nirmal with its headquarters also in Haridwar. This is an akhada of the Nirmal sect. It was established in 1856 by Durga Singh Maharaj. This akhada also has a close relationship with the Sikh faith. The 11th akhada is Sri Shambhu Panchagani Akhada. Its headquarters are in Junagadh in Gujarat and it is a Shaivite akhada. The 12th akhada is Sri Panchadashana Mahavan Akhada. Its headquarters are in Haridwar. This is also a Shaivite akhada. The 13th akhada is Taponidhi Sri Anand Akhada Panchayati. Its headquarters are in Nashik, Maharashtra And this is also a Shaiv Akhada. These akhadas get the highest priority in Kumbh. They have the first right to bathe in the Shahi Snan or royal bath before anyone else. This tradition is also followed on other days of significance. Their Shahi Snan is also a sight worth seeing. All the akhadas have different timings for bathing. The sadhus come in multiple groups. They do the holy dip one by one, and the banks of the Sangam turn saffron.
In the Kinnar Akhada, actress Mamta Kulkarni was made a Mahamandaleshwar, which yes, surprised many people.
आजकल मैं देख रहा हूँ किसी की मुंडी पकड़ के महामंडलेश्वर बना दिया, ऐसा नहीं होता।
Woven into the tradition of the akhadas is, of course, the feeling of love, but at times conflict as well. It cannot be denied. And conflicts have come down a lot in the recent past, in the present moment. That cannot be denied. The akhadas or the monastic orders have understood the need for balance for the greater good. And they do respect each other today. But yes, it cannot be denied that there were times in the past where there was conflict, which at times even turned, bloody.
Absolutely, many such clashes have been recorded in the history of Kumbh Ameesh.
तो शैव और बैरागियों के बीच में बहुत बार लड़ाइयाँ हुई हैं वर्चस्व के स्नान को लेकर, पेशवाई को लेकर, शाही स्नान को लेकर। तो यह जो लड़ाइयाँ थीं, इसकी वजह से बहुत बार युद्ध की स्थिति हुई। अकबरनामा में एक चित्र है जिसमें बैरागी और शैव अखाड़े आपस में लड़ रहे हैं, ये दिखाया गया है।
Gradually, efforts started being made to reduce the disputes that were emerging. In 1954, the Akhil Bharatiya Akhada Parishad was formed to maintain peace, to develop harmony among the different akhadas. So today, 13 akhadas jointly elect the president of the Akhada Parishad, who manages the affairs.
Even for their bathing time, Ameesh, there are pre-allotted times which is decided ahead of time, and the akhadas and the sadhus come according to the allotted time and bathe and take the holy dip and return. In fact, this Mauni Amavasya day, when the tragic incident happened, Ameesh, they delayed their dip, their snan, and they waited so that there's no disturbance in the public order and security.
And that shows their ability to respond to what is required for the greater good, particularly for the public good. But despite that, between akhadas and sometimes even within akhadas, there can be some disputes. Like very recently, in the Kinnar Akhada, actress Mamta Kulkarni was made a Mahamandaleshwar, which yes, surprised many people. In fact, some sadhus and sants raised their voice also about this because they were wondering what was the process followed to make Mamta Kulkarni Mahamandaleshwar. Ultimately, she had to leave. And even Acharya Lakshminarayan Tripathi ji, who had made Mamta Kulkarni Mahamandaleshwar, even she was penalized.
Right, and it became quite a controversy at that time.
एक दिन में कोई संतत्व को उपलब्ध नहीं हो सकता, उसके लिए वर्षों की साधना लगती है। आज तुम्हारे सामने स्वामी रामदेव भी खड़ा है, हमारे पूज्य बालक नाथ जी महाराज जी यहाँ पर है। हम लोगों को इस साधुता को पाने में 50-50 वर्षों का तप लगा है। संत होना ही बहुत बात है, साधु होना बहुत बड़ी बात है। महामंडलेश्वर तो बहुत बड़ा तत्व है। आजकल मैं देख रहा हूँ किसी की मुंडी पकड़ के महामंडलेश्वर बना दिया, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए।
ममता जी से इनको क्या दिक्कत हुई? मैं समझता हूँ जो संन्यास होता है, जो वैराग्य होता है, आवश्यक नहीं है कि वैराग्य हमको ही आएगा, किसी को भी आ सकता है। ममता जी को वैराग्य आ गया, उनको अच्छा लगा मैं किन्नर समाज में जाऊंगी, उनकी महामंडलेश्वर बनूंगी। वो किन्नर समाज में गई, महामंडलेश्वर बनी, बहुत अच्छी बात है। वैराग्य किसी भी अवस्था में आ सकता है और हम सब ममता जी के साथ है, लक्ष्मीनारायण त्रिपाठी जी के साथ है।
गुरुवे शरणं गुरुवे शरणं प्रदोष शिवनायन मा शरणं गुरुवे शरणं गुरुवे शरणं प्रदोष शिवनायन मा शरणं पालिने दूट्टुम तायिनुम शालप्परिल्दु नी।
Apart from the regular sadhus of akharas, I mean, it's quite interesting that there are a lot of hut yogis who are coming to this kumbh, you know, with one hand raised up in the air or standing in one leg, lying on a bed of thorns. So what actually is hatha yoga?
Well, and this interpretation of the Hatha Yoga is essentially about very rigorous penance. Sadhus are essentially showing that they can control their bodies enough to endure rigorous suffering in honor of their God, to prove their devotion to their God, to prove that they are worthy of receiving their God's darshan or blessings. It is in a way their tapasya.
Well, these hatha yogis are attracting a lot of attention in this Kumbh Mela.
And I think that's what makes them so fascinating, right? For all of us ordinary pilgrims. So, if you're as fascinated as we are, and many of the pilgrims to Kumbh Mela are with our sadhus and our saints, do come here, seek their blessings, seek them out. I know it's very difficult to be like them, so we're not suggesting you should be like them. But look at them, learn from them, seek their blessings, and enjoy the wonder that is the Kumbh. Namaste.
गुरुवे शरणं गुरुवे शरणं प्रदोष शिवनायन मा शरणं